teams across the NFL are dropping serious cash to build new venues with one major goal: scoring a Super Bowl. The LA Rams dropped $5 billion on SoFi and landed the championship game in 2022. The Atlanta Falcons built Mercedes-Benz for $1.6 billion and hosted the big game in 2019. Then the Minnesota Vikings opened US Bank in 2016 for $1.1 billion and got their title game just 2 years later. But here's where the story takes a wild turn. All of these franchises got the memo. If you want to host the NFL's biggest party, you better build the right kind of house.
Every team should have a dome. Retractable roof, so you can still have those elements if you so choose. If it's raining and Ursay or whoever say, look man, we gonna have this roof open. Hey, we good. We shouldn't have to still be moving games because of weather, man.
Buffalo? They got the memo, read it twice, then lit it on fire and danced around the ashes while laughing maniacally. Picture this. You're about to spend more money than the GDP of Iceland on something that will never ever achieve its most valuable purpose. Sounds insane, right? Well, welcome to Buffalo, where logic goes to die and taxpayer money disappears faster than snow in July. So here's the question that should make every taxpayer's blood boil. Why won't Buffalo's mind-blowing $2.2 billion venue ever get a shot at hosting the championship? The Bills just torched more cash than Minnesota, Atlanta, and pretty much every other recent project. Yet they built a facility that fails every single requirement the league has for hosting duties. Plot twist. This wasn't an accident. This was the plan all along, and it's about to get way worse. This whole mess involves billionaire puppet masters, politicians, and one of the most backwards deals in sports history. But before we dive into that dumpster fire, you need to understand the chess game being played here. Ready for this? Imagine you're Roger Goodell sitting in a Manhattan boardroom sipping overpriced coffee while deciding where the next Super Bowl goes. What's on your checklist? First up, you need a venue packing around 70,000 fans. The suits want those massive crowds for TV ratings and serious revenue. Get this, smart cities learned from that disaster because Minnesota built a locked-down dome with 66,000 seats. Atlanta installed a retractable roof that fits 71,000 people, and Arizona created this space-age facility where the grass literally rolls out, like something from a sci-fi movie. And of course, LA built SoFi with a massive canopy that makes Mother Nature completely irrelevant. These franchises cracked the code. Build a climate-controlled palace that laughs in the face of February weather while giving fans, media, and deep-pocket sponsors the VIP treatment they demand. But not Buffalo. Buffalo's approach will blow your mind. Buffalo's new house will seat 63,000 people. Stop right there. That's already 7,000 seats short of what the league demands. But wait, it gets worse. The facility is completely exposed to whatever Arctic nightmare Western New York wants to unleash. No dome, no retractable roof, just a partial canopy covering 65% of the seats. And you're not going to believe this, so let me paint you a picture of February in Buffalo. The temperatures make your car engine cry for mercy, and the wind cuts through concrete like it's made of butter. And this is where Buffalo decided to build their championship dreams? The league office took one look at this proposal and probably laughed until they needed oxygen. But that's not even the crazy part. This wasn't some rookie mistake or budget oversight. This was the plan all along, and here's where it gets wild. Rewind to 2014. New York State bigwigs, including then-Governor Andrew Cuomo and Buffalo Mayor Byron Brown, huddled together like conspirators to figure out if the Bills needed a new home. Meanwhile, Terry and Kim Pegula, sitting pretty on $6.8 billion in net worth, were already scheming their next chess move.
This is a significant step in us owning the team, but we still don't own it yet. There's there's a small matter of having to pay some money.
Jump cut to August 31st, 2021. The Pegulas finally revealed their hand, a $1.4 billion plan for a 60,000-seat venue in Orchard Park. But wait for it, that was just the appetizer. The main course came on March 28th, 2022, when they dropped the real bombshell. The following parties contributed to the bill. New York State, $600 million. Erie County, $250 million. The Bills, $350 million. The NFL, $200 million loan. Here's the thing though, notice something fishy about those numbers? The billionaires convinced everyone else to pay for most of their shiny new toy. And then on June 5th, 2023, the groundbreaking photo op. Governor Kathy Hochul, owner Terry Pegula, Erie County Executive Mark Poloncarz, and Commissioner Roger Goodell all smiled for the cameras like politicians at a ribbon cutting while taxpayers got handed the check. Construction stayed on track. Steel reached its peak in April 2025, and the facility is set to open for 2026. Here's what nobody mentions in those press conferences. They built the most expensive venue in Buffalo history that's permanently banned from hosting the sport's biggest event. It's like building a Ferrari that can't drive on highways. The masterminds behind this scheme? Terry and Kim Pegula pushed the design like generals commanding an army. Governor Hochul championed throwing public money at billionaires like confetti at a parade. Mark Poloncarz handed over a $250 million from the county like he was buying lunch. Commissioner Goodell rubber-stamped the whole thing while the league kicked in $200 million. The architectural firm Populous, fresh off designing Yankee Ballpark, drew up the blueprints for this Super Bowl-proof fortress. Now here's where the plot thickens like gravy. Despite assembling this all-star cast and outspending nearly every recent NFL project, Buffalo's venue bombs every championship hosting requirement. No roof equals automatic disqualification. Game over. Roll credits. But that's not even Buffalo's biggest problem. The league demands massive infrastructure for championship week. Think about it. 150,000 visitors descending on your city like locusts for a week-long party. Miami handles this with over 150,000 hotel rooms. Los Angeles has more than 200,000. But Buffalo? They've got about 36,000 rooms scattered across the entire region, including Niagara Falls and Rochester. Local officials have admitted the obvious. They can't handle championship hosting logistics. It's like trying to park a cruise ship in a puddle. Plus, the league's selection patterns work against Buffalo from day one. The suits want cities with massive tourist appeal, giant media markets, or space-age domed facilities. Buffalo clocks in as the 53rd largest media market with 1.2 million people. The championship goes to television gold mines, not frozen outposts where reporters need survival gear and camera crews worry about equipment freezing mid-broadcast. But wait, there's more. Let's talk money, because this is where the story gets absolutely bonkers and your wallet starts crying. The Pegulas convinced taxpayers to fund $850 million of their $2.2 billion toy. That means billionaires worth nearly $7 billion got working families to pay for half their private business. Every New York taxpayer, $85. Every Erie County resident, another $280 on top. That $850 million could have built 44 elementary schools, fixed thousands of miles of crumbling roads, or provided healthcare for 85,000 people for an entire year. Instead, it's building a venue that can't host the championship. Ever.
Burn the city down. We're burning it down.
How did they pull this heist? The oldest trick in the billionaire playbook. Threatened to leave town like a mobster shaking down a shop owner. 2021, the message was crystal clear. Fork over $850 million or we're taking the Bills to Austin, Texas. Austin was already being floated for other franchises like a backup plan, so New York politicians panicked like parents whose kid threatens to run away from home. Governor Hochul faced political suicide if she lost the bills. So instead of demanding a venue that could actually generate economic returns through major events, she handed the Pegulas everything on a silver platter with a bow on top. You ready for the gut punch? Buffalo spent more than cities that actually scored championship hosting rights. Minnesota's $1.1 billion U.S. bank facility raked in $450 million from their 2018 title game, and Atlanta's $1.6 billion Mercedes-Benz venue brought over $400 million in 2018-2019. Buffalo dropped $2.2 billion and will make zero from championship hosting because their venue can't even enter the conversation. Zero, zilch, nada. Here's the kicker. The Pegulas weren't building for championships. They were building a cash machine that prints money faster than the Federal Reserve during a crisis. Smaller capacity means premium pricing and longer waiting lists that stretch for years. Open-air design preserves Buffalo's weather advantage against visiting teams like a home field fortress where opponents freeze their assets off. This is capitalism at its finest. Privatize the profits, socialize the costs, and leave taxpayers holding the bag while billionaires count their money in climate-controlled mansions. When future championship hosts get announced, Buffalo won't even be mentioned. They built the wrong facility entirely, like showing up to a black tie event in flip-flops and wondering why nobody takes you seriously. For $2.2 billion, they could have built a championship-worthy venue, generating massive economic benefits for decades. Instead, they permanently locked themselves out of the sport's biggest event, while taxpayers funded half the bill and got absolutely nothing in return, except the privilege of keeping their team in town.